Hey guys, hope you're well. Trying to set up a little makeshift video stand here with my dog, obviously. We're on the beach in San Diego, but wanted to give you a quick update on what is happening with Zero Dark Tony. As you may or may not know, but you probably do if you've been following the hero like Cody Reddit, Zero Dark Tony has been officially bailed out, and that's what's fascinating about this whole story, guys. It's almost like a movie. You got the villain, and the villain has his fans, and the evil character has his supporters, and ZDT is going to try to portray himself as this great murderer, to go to jail for the cause of free speech. And of course, he'll probably spin it as this is a minor charge. The judge found nothing. Obviously, if you get bonded out, that doesn't mean that the charge is meaningless in any single way, shape, or form. Nor does it mean they won't follow up, none of that. But he was able, especially in California, where it's very efficient, to try to get your bail. First, he got it reduced to $50,000, and he probably ended up paying that bail. That's why there's a 0-0 in terms of what his bail is now, because it's been already bailed out. But obviously, it doesn't change any of the dynamics of what's happening. He has an arraignment on Monday. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see if he shows up. If he's out of jail, is he going to abscond somewhere, maybe go down to Mexico, forget about all of it, or is he actually going to show up? If he shows up, obviously he's not going to get arrested because he's already been arrested based on those warrants, and he has a court date to answer for those warrants. So that's mainly the big news. A little more details on the arrest, not that there's too much, but the fact that there's so many cops show that this is a high priority, and it's indicative that there's probably something deeper than just these violating the restraining order charges or just the charges that the DA has been recommended. The DA hasn't formally brought them, but I think the DA recommending felony charges is one of the reasons that the cops wanted to act upon this arrest. And interestingly enough, it was Wilshire area cops outside of Hollywood. There's been a feeling apparently among certain cops that the Hollywood division is reflexively protective of Scientology, but cops travel quite a distance, so it wasn't a local cop at the LA County Courthouse who arrested ZDT. It was actually a cop out of Wilshire, which is quite more of a distance, probably would take you 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get to downtown. So there was some priority, and they also wanted to make the special effort, which shows that this is a serious case. They could have gotten somebody local to just deal with it, but the fact that somebody went out of their way out of their schedule to arrest ZDT, I think, shows perhaps that there's going to be future charges, but it's entirely possible his information was taken, his information from his phone, all the data downloaded. That could have happened. It could be that they're looking at a search warrant, too, potentially. And Jeff Augustine, Scientology Money Project, has an interesting video about how easily and what the process is that cops do to take that data away. So certainly interesting, but for me, even though ZDT is getting bonded out, it looks like things are going from bad to worse. Of course, that means he's going to be outside of bars for a good amount of time as all the criminal proceedings happen. We have the restraining order rescheduled for May, of which he is unlikely to win. But in addition to that, they will have to schedule, they'll see how ZDT pleads. Probably on Monday we will find out, is ZDT just going to plead guilty? Is he going to want to extend and have another hearing so he can make his plea later? Now that he's out of jail, my guess is he's going to want to try to make as many delays as possible and say he needs more time, and he could even do a change of plea. So you could plea something, and then you could even change that later on. So I doubt a trial date will be set, but he'll be informed of the formal charges he is looking at for violating the RO. Of course, he is, the warrant addresses 26 different charges, but a charge for violating the RO is, so it's 26 charges based on violating the restraining order, right? So you know essentially what the charges are, but they could be added up. Contempt of court could be added up. There could be a lot of additional things. And then we'll see if Tony pleads. If he doesn't, and it's a hardcore trial, I doubt he'd win that. By the way, he has a public defender. It should be noted he can't use Tamer because Tamer practices family law. Family law, in court, if you practice family law, you're not dealing with criminal law. So Tamer, whether he's good or bad, can't help ZDT in this situation. So who knows if he'll have one of his loyal minions raising money for an attorney, but right now he has a female public defender, apparently. And that's the interesting news. Obviously, I think there are a lot of people disappointed that ZDT got bailed out. ZDT is going to portray himself as this great martyr, but we'll see if he has the guts to actually go to trial. But that's the big news. He is out, arraignment on Monday. Probably my assumption would be 3 or 4 more proceedings. So my assumption is if there's a trial, it wouldn't happen, and I will be there. It won't happen until May or June. So that's when I would look out. I'd imagine people are discussing and are advocating that part of his bonds be he cannot be on social media anymore. So that's entirely possible. Clee has been very helpful in apparently calling. Clee Speaks is one of the watchers of ZDT, and she's apparently has been very helpful in calling Heidi Soto and trying to add those stipulations. But it's interesting. Again, that's why this is such an interesting character dynamic. It's also like a movie because ZDT has his followers, and apparently one was very effective in trying to first reduce the bail and then getting him bailed out. So one of the followers said that they were directly in touch as well with members of the city attorney's office, and they got him bailed out. So it's kind of this weird war, right? In addition to ZDT, it's his followers and people who support him doing all they can to free him as if he's some Nelson Mandela figure, and then we have everybody on the other side, which is a much bigger number, doing all they can. So any effort that you want to put in for any, probably the city attorney, Heidi Soto, is the best to connect with, but the district attorney would also be. But again, if you want to go to Hero Like Cody's page or Hero Not Zero Reddit, both of those are very good points of information to look upon, and I was just getting information from them just now. So they're far more up to date than I am, but I want to give you an analysis and kind of tell you what all of this means. But I will see you in 2 days and Monday. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.